Hello and welcome back to Speedynet, the OpenTTD transportation company, and we are about to make landfall with our transportation business. Yes, the very first trains are gonna be a fact in this very video. The start of a big and massive sprawling network. Well, at least I hope. We'll have to see how that goes. But for now, we are looking at where we're gonna start our iron transporting endeavors. Because yes, it's gonna be iron ore, and why? I have good experiences with it. Oh, and there also happen to be a crapload of iron ore mines here. So, yeah, with that said, how are we gonna do it? We're gonna pick this ironworks factory thing that's gonna smelt all our metal, and we're gonna bring all the iron ore to this very one. Then we're gonna bring the iron ore down to over here to the forge, and then, well, we'll bring back the stuff from the forge to the iron ore mines, and this increase the productivity. Now, that means that over here we're gonna have a lot of trains coming. There are a lot of iron ore mines, and we're also gonna have metal trains coming here. Maybe even special trains that take the goods from the forge over here again. So the station of this smithy must be able to handle a lot of trains. And with a lot, I mean like truly a lot. So, yeah, this is gonna be a special one. Or, well, special, at least it needs to be high capacity. The other ones are more or less regular stations. So, well, now that we know the general plan, let's get it into action, right? And let's get our very first trains set up for this business. Right, well, the first part is set up, and I know there are still no trains, but they're coming. But what do you think of this new station lookout? See, this is what I meant with the station mods in the first video. We can totally pimp the looks of it, and to be honest, I think it looks great, you know, with station, towers, offices, and conveyor belts and all that. And the cool thing is as well, is that once there is a lot of iron ore over here, it will actually show. We will see heaps of iron ore lying around over here. So yeah, I really dig this kind of stuff, and well, I hope you do too. But one other thing that I would want to touch on is, come on, I need the road vehicle there. Road vehicle, there, look, it's this transfer option. Now, basically what this means is that it will specifically transfer the goods to the station, and even if this station were to accept iron ore and make metal of it, it wouldn't do it if I were to transfer the iron ore. It really means that it's gonna lay on the station for someone else to pick it up. So yeah, I thought that was important to mention. Other than that, we will continue on setting up our iron ore business. Alright, and our first train tracks are a fact. Now, for the trains. With the new GRFs and all that we got installed, trains are a bit different as well. So let's take a look at what we have. And yeah, I didn't need to enlarge that. I need to enlarge this. See, these are our 3 locomotives that we can choose from right now. The Grasshopper, which is incredibly weak, cheap and slow. I mean, look at this, it's as fast as our ships. It almost has no graphics because it is a tiny thing. We're not gonna build this one at all ever. We got this one, the Norris, the Chuck locomotive. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't resist. But it's somewhat faster, it has some power, it's not that expensive really. And then we have this, the 440 American. And this will be the main deal that we're gonna be using. Now, the thing is, if you take a look at the cargo payment rates for iron ore, let's see, iron ore, it's not that high and it goes flat for quite a while and then it starts to decline. So there's no real rush to get iron ore to the steel mill. But iron ore in this hard pack, and not just iron ore, any cargo on trains for that matter, have a weight multiplier. And that means that we won't be able to just make a train of 10 tiles long and then have it go somewhere, because it wouldn't even get off its place, you know. We would have to chain up like 6 locomotives for that, because of the weight multiplier. And I'll just make a train and I'll show you what it means. So here we go. Alright, here it goes, our very first locomotive. And let's just click open the statistics over here for it. And here we can see the weight. Empty, it now weighs 97 tons, but look at when it's starting to load and it's at 75%. See, it's not at full capacity. And this now weighs a whopping 600 tons. And as you can see, it has quite some trouble with departing. That's also the reason why we have it go to the far end, so that it can make speed on the tracks over here. So it doesn't go terribly slow through this crossing. So yeah, that's the weight multiplier for you. Now, this setup that we got over here with 4 of these, well, I think they were called gondolas, but I know one thing, that gondolas are not these kind of wagons. They are Venetian boats. Anyway, yeah, these 4 of these gondolas is more or less the max of what this train can reasonably carry. And right now it isn't even loaded to the max, but if it were loaded to full capacity, then it would more or less go at 60 kilometers an hour, and the max is 80, but it just wouldn't be able to pull it any further. Now, this track also does not have any inclines on it, so that means that it's quite okay to have 4 of these gondolas. However, if we were to have, say, 1 incline in it, I think that 3 of these gondolas would be advisable, because otherwise it would just stall at the ramp that it needs to go up. So yeah, there it is, you know, the hard pack. Now, of course, it's not gonna stay like this. I mean, we will get more powerful locomotives at some point. And then, well, you know, we can just make longer trains. But for now, if we want longer trains, we need more locomotives. Or we need 2 separate trains. So anyway, of course, I am very, very curious to see how much money this train will be making for its first load. Not even a full load, but its first one. Come on. Also, one other thing that you might have noticed is that I added one of this little yellow thing. It's called a caboose, and it's needed for some reason in this GRF. Like, all the freight trains need a caboose, and my idea is that it's some kind of coal wagon, you know, to feed the steam trains. But there we go. Look at that. Not even a full load and almost 5k. Well, 4.5. Pretty good, pretty good. Now, there are more iron ore mines out here, and we are already surfacing this one because it's in the coverage area. So that's alright. But there are more, so let's hook up a few extra, right? Alright, and that is yet another iron ore mine hooked up. Now, there is a few things that I need to keep an eye on, and right now we have it set up in a way that these horse carriages are carrying the iron from the mine to the station. And that's good and all, but I don't really know if just 2 horses are enough. But the looks of it, they aren't, so we're gonna clone one. And this is just a matter of keeping an eye on it and adjusting the numbers of horses that we have going to and from. To get the maximum efficiency out of here, because I do want all the iron ore transported over here. Oh, and look at this, see, iron ore lying about here, and these heaps will become larger the more iron ore we have on the station. But right now, with only 37 tons, that's not a lot, or 43, it's still not that much, and not enough at least for it to start displaying it. And well, are you fully loaded? It seems like no, you're not. I wonder what the capacity is. It's 16 tons. So basically 4 gondolas is more or less perfect for those 2 iron ore mines. So good to know that. Well, there are more than just the 3 iron ore mines. So why don't we hook up a few more to this station, right? Here we have a little bit of an issue in that this station over here is at a lower level than the receiving station. And well, as you can see, these two mines over here, they are hyper productive. I mean, 153 tons of iron ore, that is an absolute crapload. So yeah, we need to kind of make it so that the trains can enter this station efficiently. And well, as we know, ramps and inclines in the terrain are kind of bad, but since we need to have at least one, my idea is to kind of have the ramp be directly in front of the station, so that the trains can just wait, you know, take their own time over here without blocking any of the other trains. So yeah, let's get that set up, right? Right, so we now got the train set up here, and as you can see, I kind of changed the, well, place where the train will unload on this station to the near end. So once it has climbed this slope, it doesn't need to go all the way back to this station and accelerate at a snail's pace. It can just drop it off right here, because afterwards it will go down on this incline, or well, this decline, which it is then. So yeah, it's near end is the better solution over here. Now of course I am quite curious to see how much profit this train will make us. It's not fully loaded, so it shouldn't really have too many problems getting up this slope here, but we'll see. But yeah, one thing that you'll notice as well is that, you know, fishing, very profitable. Training and transporting stuff among tracks in the early start, not very profitable. Basically we need to get better locomotives for our training network operation business to really take off. So, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. See how it declines in speed over there, and it almost came to a complete standstill, but because I have it set at uploading here at the near end, it was that much of a problem. However, right now, as you can see, there is 48 tons of iron ore. That's quite a substantial bit more, so yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. For now though, everything looks to be alright, and well, we will set up the other iron ore mine over here. So let's get a move on with that. Right, now this iron ore mine is quite far away from this unloading station, so we might need more than just our 4 horse carriages that we got right here. But we'll have to see how that turns out. For now though, I'm looking at it and it seems that we more or less got the whole situation covered. I am curious though to see if this one train here is enough to take away all the iron that these two mines produce. I mean, if it is, good for us. If it isn't, we need to address the situation, as they call it. For the rest, I do believe that there was one other iron ore mine somewhere. Yeah. Oh, and I also seem to recall that last time when we scouted out the area over here, let's get the map open up here and let's take a look at the industries that we had in our area of operation, which is over here. Now at the moment, iron ore mines. Yeah, see, this is the one iron ore mine that we need to hook up, but I do believe that there were forests as well nearby. Yeah, there were. Look, see, there were 2 forests nearby. And if I'm right, and I do believe that, I seem to recall that correctly, the iron ore works over here accepts wood. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take that wood and we're also going to bring it to the iron works. So that we can make more metal bars out of wood. Yep. Industry is a strange thing in these lands. But I'm cool with it. Now, the way this works with the Fierce mod is that we have the iron works over here, and as you can see it accepts these types of cargoes. But production steps up if both cargoes are delivered within a month of each other. So that means that this one will be producing a lot more metal if we also bring wood. So that's definitely a big plus. So yeah, let's get that set up. Now we have... Man, I mean, I can't even see the forests. Where are they? I mean... Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's a... Wait, hold on a second. That makes it a lot easier. You know, making the trees transparent. This is industry, so it doesn't turn transparent. Wow, look at that. 136. So basically what we need is we need like a station like right here in the center. That's gonna serve as a kind of hub station. So yeah, let's get that set up then, shall we? Right, and this is our multi-train setup. Now, as you can see, I've gone for a duo locomotive setup here, because I know that this train will carry a lot of goods, and it won't do it right now. That is because this ultra productive forest isn't hooked up yet, and we will do that soon. So there it is, and it's also quite a long distance, so that means that there will be a lot of goods waiting over here once the train comes back, because of, I know, of the distance and it being not fast at all. I mean, look at that, 75 kilometers. Now that's fast for this train, but in total it's not fast. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Now one thing that you can see over here is that Beffingford is not really liking us anymore after we've been building all kinds of stuff close to their town. But there is a way to remedy this, and that is by building some trees. So we might as well get a hand on with that and just make them happy. Look, mediocre. We are liked more by the city council. They're not that expensive, especially for the amount of money that we have, so... Now, this isn't like a, just a thing that you can do forever till they are like ultra happy with you, but it does work at least in some bit. If we've destroyed a lot of trees, then yeah, this works. That's also why I don't really like it if the trees are completely invisible, because I do want to see if I cut down trees, to kind of factor in the authority rating hit that we're gonna take. Now, another thing that you might be wondering is like, damn it, what's happening to the tracks? And that's a thing that the hard pack came with as well, and that is that the tracks, if they're not used a lot, they will grow moss on it to an extent that at some point they more look like green lines than like proper tracks. But that should not happen too much with us, because our trains should run over all the tracks pretty frequently. I hope at least. The only places where we might see that happen is over here. If there's not a whole lot of trains, especially over here, there's only one train. So these tracks most likely will stay green. But for the rest, I thought it was kind of nice. I'm gonna leave it on. It also helps with me knowing if something went awry and we have like a whole set of green tracks that should not be green, that indicates to me that there is a problem and I need to investigate. Damage Holmes. But anyway, yeah, now we more or less have everything hooked up except for this forest. So let me quickly go about and get this forest hooked up to this station. Right, and there we are. We got everything hooked up now. At least that is the iron ore mines that need to go to this iron ore works. And look at this, it's already producing 130 tons of metal. Now, I do feel that we kind of need to increase this station's capacity a little bit, because there's a lot of trains that are heading to and from this station, and there will be a lot more once we adjust all the amounts of things that are going to this station. Because as you can see here already, there's 80 tons of iron lying around while this train just left completely full. So we might want to adjust this, and there might be a few other things that we need to adjust. So we are going to expand this very station. Well, done. Quick and easy, right? And yeah, as you can see, I've also been using pathing signals because I think it looks nicer. And in the other series, I went with the regular pathing signals, but these are pre-pathing signals. I should have said that. But yeah, I think they look nicer. So yeah, we're gonna go with those. And look at that. Look at our first train with wood from a long distance arriving over here. And how much is it worth? Only 5,000. I'm a bit underwhelmed by it, but well, it will make us a profit, I'm sure of it. And well, right now I think, look at that, 170 tons. But I think right now we should go over all the amounts of trains and vehicles that we have by simply checking if there is lying any iron ore around at any place. And as you can see over here, there is a crap load of iron ore and the train is far from arriving. So my gut feeling kind of tells me that we need to either increase the length of the train or we need to make a new train entirely. To be honest, I think that in this case, because there are no slopes really, we could just increase the length of the train and add yet another locomotive. I think that would be a pretty solid idea. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you to the depot and we're gonna adjust it. And I'll just go over all the other trains as well and get everything sorted right with the right capacity and all that. So yeah, let me quickly do that. Right, well, at a first glance, and this one's a bit hard to tell because we've just built this station, but at a glance it seems that everything is more or less set up and done right. And yeah, as you can see, we also needed quite a few more trains for, well, at least this iron ore mine, and that's not a strange thing, with these beasts of iron ore mines producing for us. Now, of course, I am curious to see how this has resulted in terms of cash and all that, because we aren't doing this just for the funds. I want money, so operating profit. Okay, good to know that it has pretty much stalled our operating profit. Well, that also has a reason, because operating profit is also minus the expenses, I believe, and yeah, we kind of built a lot of stuff, but so far it's not encouraging at all. The income graph though does show that we are making a profit with it, but to be honest, I'm a bit underwhelmed, I must admit. Over here, yeah, I think that this last bit is actually me fine-tuning, and that means that we're not building anything. It could very well be that this section is actually the profits of the iron business. Could be, could be. I'm not entirely sure of it though. It isn't that well, honestly. Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely that last flat bit was me fine-tuning and all that. So, because I did buy quite a few vehicles, and that is displayed over here in the company value graph. Now, one thing that we will start encountering as well is the fact that we will now have to pay taxes, and yeah, I haven't really kept an eye on how many they are, but we should be able to see that over here. Yeah, see, the other, that is more or less the taxes that we need to pay. And I think at the year 1851 we only needed to pay this, and or perhaps not. I have no clue. I seem to recall that it was somewhere over here in this graph, you know, this table where we could see it, but oh well. I'll try to keep an eye on it. But for now, I think that we have set up our very first railroad network quite nice. It looks like a network. Far from optimized, but because we're in the early days, it doesn't matter too much. But stuff like this, I mean, once we are at maglev, we will definitely need to rework it. But right now, I mean, there's a lake, and as you can see, this one bit that we had terraformed in the water was 45,000 bucks. I mean, we have 600 grand, but 45 is a lot. So yeah, lakes definitely mean something. And well, on that note, join me next time when we will take the next move in the whole iron ore business and see that we can get some more money from all this steel that is made for naught at the moment. So see you then.